Hey everybody, Iceman50 here. So, gonna redo a video that I did the other day that didn't turn out very well because of my microphone or something. We're gonna show you a basics of riding. This is, this is kind of brought up one of my subscribers or viewers, Impale. He got a new bike and he's never really rode before, so we're gonna show you the basics. Okay. Obviously you can see here's where I start with my basics. Long pants, always wear jeans. You never know. See these guys going around in shorts and stuff, kind of sketchy to me, but whatever. I've got a armored hoodie, so the arms here, the shoulders, the back, are all armored up in case I fall. Little warm, but it's better to be warm than tore up, trust me. And the biggest thing is gloves. Okay, you gotta wear gloves. Something I learned from riding BMX when I was younger is you fall off the bike, what's the first thing that you do? You put your hands out to break your fall, right? So you gotta have gloves on. It's very unpleasant messing up your hands, right? I mean, that's not going to stop you from like breaking your wrist or anything, but it's going to stop the insides of your hand and everything from getting tore up from road rash, right? So, but yeah, so when I ride, and I've said that a couple of times, it feels weird because once you got all the gear on, to me, it's as safe as I'm gonna get. I mean, I'm wearing the helmet, right? I'm wearing the gloves, I'm wearing long pants, I'm wearing long sleeves with armor in it. There's not really much else I can do, right? All right, so when you got the bike, right, it's off. You come up, you got the kickstand down, okay? You're gonna turn your bike on, and hopefully you'll have left it in neutral, okay? You'll see the N, right? And that means you can start it. Now, before you just, you don't want to just jump on and ride off. You got to give the engine a minute to warm up. I mean, literally 60 seconds. I mean, I would just wait at least 60 seconds for the oil pump to start going and for oil to make it to the places that it needs to get to, right? And whatnot. So, so you're here, you've turned it on. This is your power on and off, right? And you hear it go woo, and you get a check engine light. It's in neutral. As long as it's in neutral, you can start the bike without doing anything. If it's not in neutral, okay, you're gonna want to squeeze in the clutch and try to lift it up to get it into neutral. Bang it down, lift it up, whatever you got to do. Sometimes it's really hard to do while it's standing still. You're trying to like shift it while it's not moving, which, transmissions really want to be moving while they're shifted. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to turn it on. You're going to make sure it's in neutral, and let's just say it's not in neutral. Okay, let's just say this happened to me yesterday. All right, let's okay, look, it's in, you come in, you're like, oh, it's neutral's not on, it's in first gear, and you're sitting here and you're fighting with it, and you're like, oh, see, I was able to get it back in there, but I'm like, if you're like, oh, I can't get it back into neutral, it's stuck, I'm going up to first, second, whatever. Squeeze the clutch in, start the bike. Oh, yeah, okay, squeeze the clutch in. Interesting. It won't let you. I didn't realize that. Okay, so if you're on it, it's in gear. Lift up on the kickstand, right? Squeeze in the clutch. Start it. Okay, it started, but you're in gear. Okay, so you can't let go of the clutch, right? So if you lift, let's try. I found, you got to roll back and forth while shifting. See, I keep missing it. As I said, these little guys are tricky sometimes. There you go. Okay, and once you see N, you can let off the clutch, okay? These bikes are very light. They're only 230 pounds. My feet, you can see my feet are resting on the ground, right? So, the next thing, right, is learning how to move, okay? Your clutch is not just an on and off switch. Think of it like a dimmer switch, right? The more you turn it, the brighter it gets. The more you let this clutch out closer to the clutch point, the more it's gonna grab. So your clutch engagement, you know, you're squeezing on the clutch here, right? But your clutch engagement, where it starts grabbing, is right up here at the end on the groms. So if you're here, if you just keep dropping it, you're gonna friggin' wheelie. I've done it, okay? So the idea is we're gonna show you. We're gonna back up and you can walk it around, right? Okay? And here's what we're gonna do. This is what I was showing my son. Same thing. You're gonna squeeze in the clutch. You're gonna drop it into first gear. You're gonna push down, mash down on your left foot, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna slowly, you're not gonna be grabbing any brakes. You're gonna slowly let your left hand out, real slow. Okay, right? And just, I mean, the tiniest bit. And look, you can see the bike's wanting to creep. I'm letting it out, right? Letting it out slow. A little bit more. We're starting to walk, right? And then you're just gonna, okay, and then squeeze it in and then hit the brake, okay? That's how you're gonna learn to feather the clutch in first gear, because you can't just drop it. I mean, here, watch. Okay, you see what happened? I just let it go. It stalled. Okay, and if you start panicking and giving it gas, you're gonna do a wheelie, you're gonna freak out, okay? So, again, then you're like, oh shit, I stalled it. What do I do? Pull in the clutch, hold the clutch in, start it right back up, but you gotta hold the clutch in, okay? Again, so you just let it out. Right now, we're not even right now, we don't even care about giving it any gas. You can see, okay? And then we're going, right? Okay, look, I'm all the way out. So we're idling at 3 miles an hour, right? Right, you see that? Okay, we're just idling. My feet are off everything. We're just going along. This is on a level road, you know, and then here. So you're just balancing, you know, once you're cruising here. I know this looks so goofy, but okay, you pull in the clutch, hit the brakes, okay? And then you're just gonna keep doing that over and over and over again until you get confident that you can easily, you know, just start letting off the clutch and pull away, okay? And once you can slowly let the clutch out so that you don't stall the bike and you're just going, then you can give it some gas and let off. Give it some gas, let off. Give it some gas, let off. So you can, there's two ways to brake, right? You can let off the gas, an engine brake, or, whoa, she's torquey, or you can use the actual brakes. Now if you're moving along here, we're moving 10 miles an hour, right? I can slow down with the brakes. Where you have to start using where you actually have to pull in the clutch while you're braking is when you're below 5 miles an hour, right? So let's get up to the stop sign. I'll show you. So we're going to practice letting out the, here, I killed it, right? We're going to practice letting the clutch out. Okay, like that. Okay, we're rolling, right? We're going 3 miles an hour. Little gas. Okay, we're going to come up here. You're going to squeeze the clutch in, so you're coasting, and then you're going to use your brakes to come to a stop. So whenever you're going and you need to slow down, I'll show you. We'll put their turn signal on. Okay, so we're at the stop sign, and you want to go. So what you do is you combine what you learn with letting the clutch out, right? But first you give it some gas, like this. Then you let the clutch out, so So you're going a little bit faster, right? And like I said, this is a wet clutch. You can slip it, okay? So you're giving it some RPMs, and you're just feathering that clutch out, right? Okay? And then we're gonna put on our turn signal, and you're gonna squeeze in the clutch, and you're coasting. Then you're gonna use your front, you can use your rear brakes and your front brakes, and you're just gonna coast. You're gonna hold this in, and you're just gonna use the brakes that way, okay? So, and then you're like, oh no, well, what do I do? Okay, I'm in first gear, right? Now you can pull in the clutch, shift up, and let it out. But as you're letting it out, see, you can do it, okay? But as you're letting it out, we'll get back to first gear, right? Okay, so we're going. So keep on the gas, pull it in, lift up, and twist a little bit at the same time. You're just gonna, you know, let's see if we can. I know there's a good parking lot over here. All right, so squeeze, lift, twist. Squeeze, lift, twist. That's all we're doing. Squeeze, lift, twist. All right, squeeze, lift, twist. And now we're in fifth gear. And then you're gonna do squeeze, push, and then slowly let the clutch out. But if you drop 2 gears, you cannot go too many gears at once. Otherwise you will fly off the motorcycle, okay? So here, we're going 26 miles an hour, 4th gear. We're coming up to the stop sign, right? You're like, what do I do? Pull in the clutch, downshift all the way. You're holding in the clutch, downshift all the way. And I'm using the back brake right now. No front brakes, I'm just using the back brake. And I'm coming basically to a stop. This bike is so light that, you know, you can sit here for a minute and balance, right? You know, before you need to go. But, you know, you come up, sit down, take a minute, okay? And then you're gonna give it a little gas. And you're gonna let the clutch out as you give it gas. And then squeeze, lift, shift. You know, squeeze, what did I say? Squeeze, lift, twist, right? So squeeze, lift, twist, right? And that's gonna get us just moving along. So here we are in 4th gear. Pull in the clutch, you're now in neutral. Even though you're not, the transmission is not in neutral, you've disconnected the engine. We're pushing all the way down, we're in 1st gear. We're watching traffic, they're not moving. And so I'm giving a little throttle and I'm slipping the clutch out, right? And then I'm putting on my turn signal, okay? And then we're squeezing in the clutch, lifting, giving it a little gas at the same time. Turn off your turn signal, squeeze, lift, shift, right? Twist. Squeeze, lift, twist, right? That's what I'm thinking in my mind. I know it sounds dumb, but, and then squeeze, push down, and use some brakes while you're letting the clutch out to get you down to that correct speed. Every gear has a speed that it's happy in, okay? And if you're outside of that speed range, if you're, you can see, I'm in 3rd gear. Look at, you know, the RPMs are low. If I were to drop to 1st gear is only good up to about 10 miles an hour. If we're going 18 and I put it in 1st gear, what's gonna happen is the bike's gonna be like, "Aah!" and it's gonna go crazy, and you're gonna slow down to 10 miles an hour really quick, right? And you could, you know, flip yourself off the bike or whatever. But, you know, so the thing is that you just wanna play with that throttle, right? This is the old movie theater. It's a kind of a shame, actually. This is the greatest place ever, right? Because this is a IMAX theater, and you can see that it's just fucking dead, right? So they closed and they're not coming back, right? But we can come over here. I mean, the cops might shoo us away or something, but you know, it is what it is. We'll leave if they ask us to leave. So, okay, here we are. Again, squeeze in the clutch. I'm in neutral. Push it down. We're now in gear, but the engine is disconnected from the transmission, right? So we're gonna give it a little gas. Now that you've learned how to creep successfully and to get moving, you're gonna give it gas. And then you're slowly gonna let your clutch out, right, while you're giving it gas, and you're gonna keep your RPMs up, right? Now, you know, you can ride around in gear. So you see is that If I give it more gas, it's fine. If I let go off the gas, I slow down. Like I said, engine braking, okay? You can see a lot of people are doing donuts in here. All right. So then you're like I said, okay, well, it's time to take it to the next level. It's time to upshift. So you get some speed. You're gonna, in one motion, like I said, with a quick motion, you're gonna pull in the clutch, lift up on the shifter, and give it a little gas. So you're gonna go here. You're gonna squeeze, lift, twist. Now we're in second gear. Okay, and you can see that you can only go so fast in second gear. If we go too slow, it's gonna want to stall. So you're gonna want to downshift when you're down around okay, so let's do this. 10, but you can see we're at 12, okay, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, you can see, you know, first gear will get you all the way up to here. We'll get you all the way up to about 20. See? See, it's telling me to shift at 20, and I've got that rev limiter set up at like 8250. So we can go about 20. That's the most, okay? Then when you go into second gear, okay, now we're in second gear. You can go a little bit faster, right? Now you can see we're already doing 20 comfortably, 22, right? We'll come back around here, okay, and we'll show you, okay, 23. Don't forget to lean. Don't turn the steering wheel. Man, okay, and you come up like this. You're like, oh shit! Pull in the clutch, downshift. Use your front brakes, rear brakes. Remember, you try to use them in a proportion of 50% rear, 50% front. You don't want to always be jamming on the back brakes and skid out, or you don't want to be jamming on the front brakes and go over the, you know. But so, again, you're like, shit. So just give it some gas, let it out, go over the hump, right? And you can shift pretty low. Here, you can see. Okay, we're going 7, 8 miles an hour. Watch. So I can shift in a second at 10 miles an hour. It's going to be a little luggy. It'll be all right. But so hopefully, I think I know what you're saying is, as far as, you know, you're struggling with the, you know, what do I do? It's always squeeze in the clutch, downshift if you're coming to a stop. Like, okay, like I said, so we'll just assume that we'll come this way, all right? Shift, squeeze, lift, twist, all right? Squeeze, lift, twist. All right, put on our turn signal. We're going to downshift to first because we're going to stop here because, you know, and then we're going to come over, squeeze, lift, twist, squeeze, lift, twist, right? This is, now we're in third gear. It's pretty slow. This is almost too slow. When you're down at 2,000 RPM, I mean, 2,000, 3,000 RPMs is about it, right? So, you know, you're going to downshift. You're in a parking lot like this, you're like looking to park, you're going 10 miles an hour, second gear is perfect. First gear is just to get you started off a line, right? So you're at a stoplight, okay? You shouldn't start in second. You can, but you might stall it. But, you know, so we're in first, we're going, right? It's to get us going to about 10, squeeze, you know, squeeze, lift, twist, right? So as soon as you get to about 10 miles an hour, you should probably shift, right? And see, now I can do it again. But again, we're really low. We're in third gear at 14 miles an hour. The engine, it's almost too much of a load for the transmission, right? So shift it down in a second. First is just to get moving. Second, above that. And then once you gain above 20-ish, once you get above 20, then you can go into third gear. Okay, so you're keeping these numbers in your head. First gear, 10. Second gear, 20. In the Grom, it's pretty simple like that. It's third gear, 30, fourth gear, 40, you know, 40, 50. If you just remember, wait, if I need to be going, like, I need to be turning right here. Okay, I'm in second gear. If you're turning or whatever, that's perfect. You don't want to be in first gear, right? So we're making a turn, lights green, we got our turn signal on, we're accelerating, right? And then we're squeeze, lift, twist, and we're leaning and we're giving it gas, right? Okay, and then I know I keep repeating myself, but always squeeze in the clutch. It's the same thing in a car. You panic, push in the clutch. You've now disconnected the engine. So I hope that you know, some of this, like, you just need to find a little parking lot like this, you know, but the key is learning to feather the clutch when you first are going, because otherwise, if you just let the clutch out, that's how you do wheelies, man. You rev it up and you drop the fucking clutch, right? It's, you know, once you learn how to do it, if that's what you're into, it's cool. I'm not really into that. It's not my thing. I just like to be safe and responsible, right? So, max it out. Okay, we'll take you on. We'll take you over here on Randall Road. Now this is okay. So you're rolling, lift up, get into neutral. You can see the clutch is squeezed in, and I'm using the brakes to get me to a stop, right? So now you can see it. You're in neutral. You just let off the clutch, okay? And ooh, cement truck. It's a big one. So now we're just gonna sit here, and because this bike is so small, it may or may not set off the sensors. So, but yeah, big old cement truck, man. So with enough cars coming here, they may trigger the light here. I'm hoping. Otherwise, we're gonna have to make a right-hand turn because this kind of sucks. Right? We do have safe on red here in Illinois, which means that if you've been stuck at a light for more than 2 minutes, you can safely clear through the intersection on red if there's enough room. So, like I said, that's in Illinois. But yeah. Anyway, so we'll try to get you. Let's see here. I just would hate to do a safe on red on Randall Road. That's just like literally asking to die. Oh, they had the turn arrow. I was like, So you can see this is some of the problems of having a Grom, is that it's so light and small that you're not setting off the signal. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm going to get the arrow. Fuck that. Okay. There we go. All right. So twist. Right. So twisting. Squeeze, lift, twist. Right. Turn off your turn signal. Squeeze, lift, twist. I know it sounds so dumb, but that's what I'm doing in my brain. Squeeze, lift, twist. Right. And put on our turn signal. Checking your mirrors. All right. So now we're doing 40 miles an hour. You can see, here we go. I'm in 5th gear. 5th gear is an overdrive. If you want to accelerate at all, you got to get out of 5th gear. That's just for gas saving. So we're going to squeeze down, let out, slowly, and twist. You always want to give it, you know, you're going to want to give it gas when you're downshifting a little bit too. Okay, so you can see here, we're trying to max it out here. All right, get over in our lane. All right, put in our turn signal. Okay, squeeze in the clutch all the way down to 1st gear because we got to come to a stop. So I'm using my front and my back brake. Clutch is squeezed in. I can come into the middle of the intersection because we've got the arrow. I'm already in 1st gear. Now the tricky part, again, so we're sitting here on the gas, right? And we're gonna gas, slowly let it out, give it gas, slowly let it out, give it gas. And then squeeze, lift, twist. Squeeze, lift, twist, right? And now what, we're in 3rd? Yeah, see? Turn off your turn signal, squeeze, lift, twist, you're in 4th. Squeeze, lift, twist, you're in 5th, right? And that's it. You panic, you're in trouble, squeeze the clutch. Watch, I'm going along. Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go, right? So, and you can see that as you go slower, 5th gear is not enough. That's why, you know, you really need to be going above, you know, above 30 miles an hour to use 5th gear. But so, you know, you go in, I would downshift, right? Because 4th gear, 30 miles an hour isn't going to cause the bike to jerk or anything like that. You know, like I said about going too fast or slow for each gear. So squeezing in the clutch, downshifting to first all the way because I'm coming to a stop. I'm using my hand and my foot for the brakes. I'm stepping down, okay? And now I'm going, I'm looking. Always look the direction you want to turn. That is the biggest thing. If I'm going here and I'm looking over there, guess where you're going? You're going right. Your body and your forces your arms and everything else to kind of go the way you're looking. So when you're coming through a turn, you follow the curve. Wherever your eyes go is where the bike's gonna go, right? So that's why when you're riding around trying to avoid, you know, looking around like this, you can see you're gonna get all fucking wonky. Just keep your eyes straight. Keep your eyes straight on where you want to go. You have to visualize where you want to go and go there, right? So, okay, downshifting, squeezing in the clutch, using the brakes, okay? We'll come to a complete stop, okay? Give it some gas, rev it out, let the clutch out slow, watch out for these manholes, twist, you know? So, squeeze, lift, twist, right? We're now in third, squeeze, lift, twist, fourth, okay? Turn signal on, clutch in, we're downshifting all the way to 1 again, we got the clutch held in, and we're using the brakes to coast. You know, we're coasting, and then we're using the brakes to get ourselves to stop. And then kind of, you know, teeter-totter for a second, twist, squeeze, lift, shift, squeeze, lift, twist, all right, turn off the turn signal, squeeze, lift, twist. Okay, again, pull in the clutch all the way down to first gear, hold it in, you're coasting, and you're coming to a stop with your brakes. There's somebody here, we're gonna let them go first. They should know that, okay? We're gonna stop, and then we're gonna go, okay? Squeeze, lift, twist, squeeze, lift, twist, right? Third, squeeze, lift, twist, fourth, squeeze, lift, twist, fifth, okay? Put on our turn signal, downshift into fourth while you're braking, while I'm using my back brake, okay? Downshift again while you're braking, downshift again while you're braking. So we're going about 10 in second gear. Turn that off, okay? You're going. All right, you can just see me, you can get it in your mind. It's just squeeze, lift, twist. See, but that's too low. 20 is too low for fourth gear. So, you know, third gear, even too low. So we'll drop it down in a second, because again, we're down around 10 miles an hour. And that's about it. And then squeezing the clutch, downshift. I'm using the brakes, I'm checking my mirrors, I'm coming around, I'm coasting back to my spot. I'm trying to lift up on neutral, there we go. Before I come to a stop, I'm trying to lift up to get it in neutral. Then I can, you should always leave your bike in neutral, unless you're in a hurry and you can't, or whatever, it's up to you. But I leave it in neutral, that way you can just come up and start it, okay? So we're in neutral, so we can let off the clutch. We can put down the kickstand, we can turn it off, and we can turn this off. And that's it. That's really all there is to it, okay? The only thing that you got to do is practice that clutch feathering, okay? Practice feathering that clutch. We need to shoe goo this, everybody. Yeah. Freaking shoe goo this. That's really what the issue is, right? With this thing. I'm not trying to do it right now. I will. Okay. All right, everybody. So I hope, you know, for you guys, I hope that, you know, this was something real basic. You learn, you know, kind of how to ride a motorcycle, and just don't panic, okay? You know, always pull in the clutch. It's just like in a manual car. Always push on the clutch, you know, then you can do anything you want. You can upshift, downshift. It doesn't really matter until you let it back out. All right? All right, everybody. We'll talk to you. Easy. Oh, man. Easy. Did it really? GoPro, stop recording.